أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Imam Muhammad Amin from Mahir Academy. And today, inshallah, as you've all seen the announcement we had posted earlier about how to avoid motivation issues with learning Quran and how to actually help your child become a fluent Quran reciter by actually learning these tips that I want to share with you all today. So join us every Sundays in this expert this group in the Mahir Academy community, or you can join us on Facebook Live. On Facebook Live as well in Imam Muhammad Amin handle on Twitter as well. You can all on Twitter and also on Instagram. You can also join us live on YouTube every blessed Sunday at 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern, to learn about revolutionary concepts of Quran learning and how to modernize Quran learning to make sure students are overcoming the obstacles of Quran learning. I tell you, a lot of you have had students and parents have had parents, student learning the Quran, and this is something that, excuse me, everyone. Uh, so many of you guys have had your kids learn the Quran over the years, and you might have not been really satisfied with the result you're having, or not really being confident in terms of what your child actually achieving over those years learning the Quran. So today I want to share with you some very important things in terms of the challenges a lot of the kids have when they learn the Quran, and also we'll take each of those challenges one after other and go after them and talk about the solutions to those problems. So we now, if you have your child learning the Quran right now, or they've already started learning somewhere, it's time for you to take action. You don't want to have them keep learning, in that situation they have themselves learning right now, because they'll be so frustrated. They will so frustrated and they will not want to learn the Quran, and feeling the Quran is so difficult. And so one of the challenge a lot of kids have, uh, one of the students in my program, for instance, now, the dad, I just talked to some parent today as well, and one of the biggest obstacle, that they all mentioned is motivation, lack of motivation. And you want to think of why your kid is not really excited to be in the Quran classes, why your child is not actually willing to go to Quran lessons, or they're not really there with their mind. What do you think? What do you think would be those challenges they're having? You might think, oh, the kids, they love going to school. They're actually doing amazing in their schools and doing everything, excelling and achieving results. But you might wonder, like, what's about the Quran classes? What's the difference, and what do we need to do as parents to actually help them? And so follow up with me today in this short session where I'll be showing you inside our program here at Mahir Academy, and how we've actually helped hundreds of students over the years to become fluent Quran reciters, and also making these students learn to memorize the Quran themselves and moving ahead and memorizing the Quran with ease and with passion, with interest and commitment to what they do. So three problems which I'm sharing on the screen right now. These are main problems that, unless these problems are not tackled, we're gonna have this circle of learning and unlearning, learning and unlearning, and your child frustrated with learning and they don't want to be in Quran classes. The first one, as you can see on the screen there, is what we call the learning motivation. So learning motivation is when a child is really not in the class. So they might want to be in Quran classes because you actually want them to be there. Well, their mind is not actually there. They're not there with their mind. They're just there because mommy want me to be in the Quran classes. They're not actually there because they want to be there. This is not a good sign of a child excelling in Quran classes. So you cannot just force them to do it. You want to make sure you create an environment. You imagine how your kids actually learn in schools, where they are excited to be in the classes, they love their classes, their colleagues in the class. So you want to make sure you create that kind of environment to learn the Quran as well. Other than that, like you will not have the result that you want. So the other challenge is some kids learn the Quran for a long period of time. Some of them they've been learning for since when they were 5 years old, and they're still not reading Quran on their own at the age of 15 or 10 and all that. So why is that happening? I will talk about that one in our next discussion in some other weeks. Uh, what about forgetting lessons? When your child is actually not remembering what they're learning, they learned something last week, but today, 2 weeks after they want to implement those skills, they're actually forgotten everything. Why? What do you think could have been those challenges? So these are questions, sometimes we actually think as parents that our kids should be able to do these. I did it when I was young, when I did this and that, I did it. And we all know, many of us as parents, sometimes, even in those days, some people take too long to learn to read the Quran, some never able to do it at all. And so if you're passionate about reading fluency and getting your child to be fluent and be able to read the Quran themselves, these three problems are common. Until we get those solved, it's gonna be a long issue that we're gonna struggle with. So let's talk about the motivation. We need to have a way to overcome lack of motivation for student learning the Quran. And I want to share with you 3 steps that we actually implement in our program that actually make this possible for our students. I'll show you our Quran Classroom portal. You see how our kids are doing amazing and doing great work, learning to read, and mostly level 1 student able to read the Quran themselves in 4 months. So if a child right now is not motivated, they have been taking too long to learn to read the Quran, they've actually been learning Quran, but they're not really, remembering what they're learning. It's like they've not learned anything for all those years they've been learning. And so what do you need to do? The first thing, motivation. So you need to have an interactive, learning or classroom setup and tools to make students learn. I know a lot of parents will think, oh, my kids, I want them to learn one-on-one, personal interaction, getting feedback and all that. That's amazing. We have that, but sometimes the kids needs to kind of distress, right? They need to kind of, they have to kind of like relax in the class, and they will not be the only person being talked to like they have in their schools, in their classrooms in schools. The kids are not just the only one in classes. They have all the kids like themselves. So when the teacher is talking to these one, they are listening. So the pressure of learning is not on them alone during the session. So this is the way you want your kid to learn. So they have other kids that they will interact with in the class, learn, cross-learn, and learn things together. Okay, and you need to have some tools to actually make online learning. If you're gonna be learning online with the kids, it's not just the teacher sitting down and having the kid to recite after them. There will be some resources that you need to use in the classroom that will make the learning. So for instance, we in our program here, we use Kahoot at the end of the session, for instance, to revise lessons. So Kahoot is a game platform. It's not, it's a quiz platform that, students or people use to actually participate in competitions, answering questions and all that. So we use this platform mostly on to have students learn the Quran. Imagine, so a child will join us in the classes to learn, and at the end of the class, they actually have a quiz using Kahoot to actually learn. So these are interactive learning. The interactive learning, the kids able to press and see their results and see their performance right there in the class to see that. So you want a class that will interactive, and you want learning tools that will make them feel along. Okay. The second thing that we're gonna explain that in more detail. The second thing that you need to do to make your class more interactive, I tell you everyone, you need to have what we call collaborative learning. And this comes down to how do we want our kids to learn. And a lot of people want kids to learn Quran, maybe one-on-one with a teacher and all that. That's all we know, right? That's good, but it's not good. It's not the best way to learn, actually. You need to learn in a collaborative way. When you have a community of people actually doing the same thing together like you, imagine the way your kids learn in school. They're not just learning alone. They have kids, colleagues who are actually doing the same thing together. That's what we call collaborative learning. So in our program, we have both group sessions format and one-on-one format. The student will need to attend both of those kind of learning format. So each of them has a purpose to do in learning. So the group sessions is meant to make the kids feel excited about learning. They have a vision to do great. They have this ease of learning because they're actually learning together with other kids in the class. They see A doing great. They feel, yeah, I can do that as well. They see Muhammad doing great. They see Khalid. They see Uthman. They also feel like, yeah, I can do it. Okay, so collaborative learning is important to make your child or your student become more excited and motivated to learn the Quran. And the other thing is you need to have the regular feedback and assessment. And so we, for instance, at the end of the class, the Kahoot quiz is an interactive tool to actually help students learn to be more familiar with the tools of learning that we use in our classrooms. But at the same time, this kid also using that to get assessed at the end of the class. So we have, at the end of the class assessment, we have weekly assessment, we have monthly assessment. And these are things because if a child is actually not getting something, and you don't know as a teacher that they're actually struggling with that because you're not doing assessment, they are frustrated, they know they're not getting it, they will not be willing to come to that class. So you want to have a regular feedback, from the class right there before they leave the class. We have an exit quiz to check on them to see they've learned that day using Kahoot. And at the end of the week as well, we have a homework for them to read 10-15 minutes to submit in a learning portal so we can actually assess and give them feedback. We have the review session where they all come one-on-one This is the one-on-one session. Come and revise and get assessed weekly. So these are the three things that you can use to help your child overcome lack of motivation in learning Quran. And I'll walk you through examples of our learning portal as well. So for instance, interactive tools. When I've seen me talking about Quran and talking about Kahoot, you might think, what's the collaboration or what's the the relationship between both? For those of you who have listened to me over the years and months, you'll see that sometimes I do teach students live and I do Kahoot for them. This is exactly the way we teach our students in our program. We use apps. We use like Tajweed apps that the student will actually be able to read and get instant feedback of their grade, of performance, and the apps that can read the words of Quran to them. They're learning to read, they struggle to read the word, but that app is going to read to them when the teacher is not there to actually help them read it and understand how to pronounce it. And also they can actually try back and read back into the app and the app is going to give them a mark of accuracy. You need these to learn the Quran. You need innovative ways that will make Quran a lot easier for students. They see the vision of reading the Quran and they see this is a possible vision that they can achieve. Unlike before, people will think it's a mirage to be able to read the Quran in a short time. So many students and parents actually are reluctant to actually do this because they know it's going to take a while. But we in our program here, we've designed curriculum and structure that's going to have people learn in an interactive way, the quizzes in the class and all that. And the collaborative learning we have in the class, we have activities they do in group. There are activities student will do in the community, like competitions at the end of the entire semester or each 3 months in the program. They have group sessions in the classes weekly and monthly competitions within the same class. You have entire community learning or competition time where they all come together to compete and win prizes, win gift cards, win different things, awards and all that. So there needs to be collaborative learning. You want the student to learn not just on their own, but with other people as well learning. So inshallah, next week I'll be bringing on to this show. I'll be bringing to you one of our teachers because I am the founder of Mahir Academy. Founded more than 5 years ago, and mostly we've helped students, hundreds of them, learn to read the Quran. So we are really excited to see how our system works and how the accelerated Quran curriculum system works that helps students learn to read the Quran in 4 months. Type Quran below this video so one of our assistants and my assistant can reach out to you and give you more details. You can join one of our parent demo sessions coming up very soon to kind of see the inner structure of this program and see how the amazing work we actually doing to help students learn to read the Quran themselves. So using collaborative learning style, this is required. So students are not just seeing themselves doing it, they see all other kids like themselves actually doing the same thing. That makes it a lot more fun. It makes it a lot more better. The last thing, which is one thing that you need to understand as part of how to help your child get excited and get motivated, which is the regular feedback and assessment. Without this, a child will not have will I say they will not appreciate what they are doing because no one is actually giving them feedback. They're not getting homework that is marked by percentage. They're not getting activities that will give them an instant score of how they're performing. So they don't feel that they're actually doing anything good if they're not getting feedback. And so you need to have frequent assessment in the classes. You need to have regular feedbacks, personalized guidance, and check through on students weekly. It needs to be done. So these are 3 things I want to share with you all today as part of what's required for you to help your child overcome lack of motivation. And I want to show you quickly before I leave today, I want to show you an example of what we do in our program here. Many of you here have been with us over the years and over the month. You've seen me talk a lot about Quran learning here. I've shown you our classroom portal. Today, I want to show you again the inner part of working of our system that we use in our program here. So you see, I talked about something about interactive classes, learning tools, collaborative learning, regular feedback and assessment. I'm not just talking about that, just like, it's something we're actually implementing in our program for the past 5 years. So we can see here now, we have this classroom portal. So students have different classes. So these are student classes. This is a group of students, there's another group of students. So students are in their classes. So every week in the class, they have set of stuff to do together as a group, okay, as a group of students. You will see here, so these are portal. So we have the student learn in an interactive way. They're not just the only one, but we have a maximum of 5 students per class. So they are all able to interact better. They're all able to interact efficiently and actually put things together, learn and quiz together.
And so you see, this is a Kahoot game link. The students at the end of the class, they have this quiz to actually practice what they've learned as an exit quiz to let us know if actually they've actually learned anything that day. And so the other one, which is aside from having interactive tools and interactive learning classroom, you need to have a collaborative learning. A collaborative learning, meaning the kids needs to be together to learn and do stuff together. You'll see here, and also we do have some apps. So you see here, this kit here, they have also they have the trackers. Every week or at the end of each month, students have like a monthly competitions that they will do in the class. So this is a recap of April. And so they have monthly competitions quizzes that they will have to do and turn in to get assessed. Okay, so have monthly quizzes, they have weekly quizzes, they have quarterly, which is done at the end of each 3 months in the program, or at the end of each 3 months in the program. So this is what we use in learning. So we have the interactive tools to help students learn. We have them learn as a classroom in a collaborative way. We also have feedback. So you see, these kids do homework every week in the program. Okay, so there's this week here right now. This kids in week 10, they are learning the sukun and learning how to pronounce. Of course, they've already learned that, but having to do some what we call difficult Quran letters exercise. Here, this kids were learning sukun sounding and pronouncing words with sukun and applying the rules. So they've got to record their homework, and we've got to kind of listen to what they've recorded and give them feedback, real-time feedback, video feedback of what they've done. And also they come to the review class, we also give them feedback. So the teacher marking what the child has actually done. And so we're able to give them feedback and let them know, yeah, you've done this great, or you've done this a little bit lesser. We need to do better. So you have feedback, you have a collaborative learning, you have interactive class. We're all kids of the same age. So let's say 5 to 7 years old can be in the same class, learn together, quiz together, take turns to read and practice together in class. Imagine how a child will feel in that kind of class. It's a lot more fun. They have a Kahoot game at the end of the class to revise learning. And they're learning together, collaborative learning. They have group activities. They have personalized activities that they will do as well. But they have group activities. They have community or network that they actually work with together. This is something that's really important that you have to understand. Not just putting your child in a program, there needs to be a system to be implemented. You don't want to put your child learning Quran and feeling Quran is difficult, or forgetting what they're learning, or they're not really motivated. You don't want to push them that much. You want to create a system instead, either rather than actually forcing them to do something that they are not willing to do. Create a system that can help them, motivate them to get excited to do it, and helping them to achieve result on time. And so if right now at this point you want to join us in this program here at My Hero Academy, put Quran comments below this video, or anything, just comment below this video. Let's get started. Let's join one of our upcoming parent demo sessions so you can actually have a better understanding of the curriculum, have a better understanding how the program works, so you can see actually how your child can achieve this goal. Like countless of students in a program, mashallah, that now, in the 4 month program, they become confident reciters. They learn the tajweed, learn the basics, able to read any ayah in the Quran themselves. Many of them, they are memorizing the Quran right now with ease. They go, memorize themselves, come to the class, read to the teacher. So if it's you right there watching me right now and you're really excited about this opportunity for a child, click the link below this video. We're going to share it for you to sign up to our upcoming parent demo session, where we'll be sharing the tips and sharing the steps and the inner workings of our program, the accelerated calendar system. If you've had enough of this, I want to take action today, or if you've heard of me today, or you've already joined us in one of our parent demo sessions in the past, it's time for you to take action. You're hearing this for the second time again. Take action today. I know your child is still not getting your child is still struggling. You're still going to have a way to get a child motivated to learn the Quran. So why are you still waiting for that to continue? You want your child to to develop hatred for learning Quran? Is that what you're waiting for? Do not want to wait for that. Join us in our Accelerated Quran Reading program today. Click the link below this video we're going to share right now. So sign up into our upcoming parent demo session, where we go through the exact steps, walk you through exact steps that will take your child from a beginner to become an intermediate, to become a fluent and expert Quran reciter of the Quran. Click the below video link and let's get started. Or if you already joined us in the parent demo session before, just go back to your email and sign up today. Let's get started. Your result guaranteed for you in the program, inshallah. No program is going to do that for you. So, but just to wrap up what I've said so far, you need to make sure you're creating an environment that actually make learning exciting for your student, for your child. If you're a Quran teacher who's actually teaching Quran, you need to do that, please. Let's make these kids feel loved. Let's teach them the Quran so they're not feeling frustrated learning the Quran. Let's create interactive class and have interactive tools for them so they can actually learn with fun and excitement. Let's have them learn collaboratively. It might be good you're having them do games on your own with them only, but when they do it together with other kids, it's more fun and they have expectations and they have a goal and they already have a path to achieving the goal in a program. So, and also have consistent feedback, give them homework, let them get assessed, give them quiz at the end of the class. These are ways to get them learn with excitement. So they are seeing that instant gratification, the instant reward of what they're doing. From the assessment, you can be able to determine and give them their correlates and their words, inshallah. So until then, we'll meet next week. Inshallah, we hope to have one of our teachers who have been doing amazing work at Mahir Academy next week to talk about this program and to talk about how they feel, before they join, those many of those teachers who are in a program right now teaching with me here, many of them have been teaching Quran for years, but they've not seen this tremendous progress kids are having in all those classes they were teaching before. Because we're using a different approach we created here, and they came here, they don't have to design something from the moon. They just need to get started using our method right away. And they are seeing this result in real time. So we'll be sharing some of the wins from those teachers in our meeting next week, Sunday, inshallah. Let's meet together next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.